from a given disaster. Speed away from the holy mind. Pride, that's where I never thought it would matter. If I'm gone by now, all my weakness keep on lingering.
Hey y'all, welcome to today's video where I'm teaching you how to wax your own eyebrows from home. During this time of COVID-19, I have posted several other haircut tutorials which have helped thousands of you guys. So I figured a lot of y'all are probably needing an eyebrow wax too, right? So I thought it would be a good time to share a tutorial on how to do just that. And I feel like I have a good system to make it as easy as possible. If you're new here, my name is Taren and I'm a licensed cosmetologist and full-time YouTuber here at Legit Mom Life, where I post a variety of other videos including lifestyle and beauty and fashion and more. So I really hope you stick around and check out those other videos as well. Subscribe if you're new, also hit that bell symbol and that'll notify you anytime I post brand new videos like this. Also, I do want to mention that I have a GoFundMe account, and if you find this video helpful, I would also greatly appreciate if you would consider making a donation. I'll link that information down below as well. Also, with any products that you'll see me use today, those will also be linked down below in the description box. So to get started, I want to share with y'all all the products that I'll be using and let you know why I think they are the best option to use. Okay, so the number one thing that will make it so much easier to wax your eyebrows from home is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Stencil Kit. This kit comes with several different stencils which you can match up to whatever is closer to your natural brow shape or the shape that you're trying to achieve. For reference, I use the medium arch, and you'll notice that my brows are a little bit more sparse in areas, but that's because I'm trying to grow them in a little bit thicker to be closer to this shape. So next up, you'll see me, I'm gonna show you, we're gonna place this on the brows and we're gonna fill them in, and then whatever is not filled in around that shape is where we're going to wax. And that is the key, I think, to making it so much easier to doing your wax from home and getting perfectly uniform shaped eyebrows. Of course, you know, like I said, eyebrows are sisters, not twins, but this is the key, I think, to having the easiest wax possible from home. I also really recommend Anastasia Beverly Hills tweezers, and these are so sharp on the tips and really make it so easy to grip every last little hair that's left after waxing. And because it has such a strong grip, it's gonna hurt a little bit less. So it's less painful to use these tweezers versus others. So I really recommend these as well. Then you're also gonna need a pair of precision scissors because I like to actually trim my brows first before we get into the waxing, and that's just gonna help get all the long hairs taken care of. Then you'll need a spoolie unless you have a brow pencil with a spoolie already on it, and I do really recommend also this one here is by Benefit, and I love this one, but I also got one from Anastasia as well, and that one does have a spoolie on it. So I would recommend using that one if you don't already have one. And then to actually fill in your brows, I'm just gonna be using my Morphe brush, and this is just a MAC eyeshadow. Unfortunately, my Sephora order wasn't here in time, but I did order the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Duo, and this one I would really recommend the most, so I will link all those products down below. Next up, for the actual waxing, I love using this brand here, and these are just a smaller precision popsicle stick to actually apply the wax, so it's much easier to really get in nice and close around your brows. And then I really recommend getting some wax off, just in case you have any leftover residual wax. This takes it right off. It's just a cream, and it also has aloe in it, so it's gonna be really nice and cooling and soothing on your skin after your waxing service. The wax pot that I recommend is this one by Gigi. I like that it does have a low, medium, and high setting. And when I turn mine on for the wax to warm up, I usually have it on high and then I bump it down to about medium. And then it just comes with this wax color, which helps not get the wax all over the place. So it's nice and easy to clean. And the wax that I use is this one I picked up. There's other hard wax beads out there, which I will also link down below. But I personally prefer hard wax beads versus soft wax because it's just so much easier and it saves you one less step. So if you're not familiar Hard wax is actually the wax that you put on and then you just kind of peel it right off. Soft wax is something that you would apply to your skin and you have to use the muslin sheet of paper to then remove the hair. So for me, I feel like hard wax is one less step, so it's gonna be faster and even easier for you to do your brows at home. Also, you can even pick up some of these just regular popsicle sticks. If you're looking to do any other body waxing, I recommend using these for that. These are also great just for stirring up the wax to make sure that it's all nice and evenly heated before you get started on your waxing service. Again, before you do any waxing service, you want to make sure that you're not using anything that contains retinoids. Anything with something such as retinol, it does exfoliate your skin, and so I recommend to avoid that with up to 1 week prior doing any waxing where you're using those products, because it can cause some abrasions and we don't want that to happen. Also, you can obviously consult your doctor or dermatologist before ever trying anything like this at home. And I do recommend to start with a clean face, no makeup on, and even mascara. I would recommend removing that, especially for doing your brows, so that you don't have to worry about that getting caught in the wax. This is actually the final look after I just waxed my brows and I went ahead and filled them in. And let's go ahead and get started. To begin, you'll want to tie your hair back and maybe even wear a headband just to make sure we don't get any hair into the wax during the service. Next, just grab your spoolie brush and gently comb through your eyebrows really quickly. Next, we're going to trim your brows. So grab your facial hair scissors, and I like to start out by combing the hair straight down and gently trimming just a little bit off the ends. The key here is to not take off too much length and do not carve or cut into the actual eyebrow. We're just nicking the ends of your eyebrows just a little bit just to make sure there's no long straggly hair in there. Next, I comb the hair directly straight up, and then I'm doing the same thing, just gently trimming the ends of the hair straight across the top without carving into the eyebrow. Then next, you'll just repeat those same steps on the opposite side. Next, grab the Anastasia brow stencil of your choice and dip into your brow powder with your brush. Place the stencil onto your eyebrow, and you'll notice there are 3 markers on the actual brow stencil that kind of indicate where your brow should naturally start, where the arch should be, and then where it should end. So just make sure that you get that placement just right how you want it before we start filling them in. Once you're certain you have that placement just exactly how you want it, go ahead and fill in your brows with your brush. And this is really just the most important step and will really set the foundation for a perfect wax. And you can see the difference here after removing the stencil from the opposite side. These stencils are even great to use for everyday use if you would like to just fill in your brows daily. Once you remove both stencils, you'll see exactly where you need to wax. While your wax is heating up, it's important to keep the lid on it. That ensures it'll heat up even faster. Make sure your wax collar stays on there, and then use a popsicle stick to stir in the wax and make sure it's evenly heated. The key with wax is that you want it to be the consistency of about honey. So a honey-like consistency. If you feel like it's getting too thick, you need to bump up the temperature and make it a little bit warmer. If it gets too stringy, same thing, bump up the temperature a little bit, but you want it to look just like this right here. And before you start your waxing service, you can do a patch test even on your forearm to make sure you're not going to have a reaction to any wax, or to also test the temperature. Next, grab your smaller wax applicators, dip into your wax, and you can test the heat. If you want to, you can blow on the wax a little bit. Obviously, this would not be sanitary in a salon setting, but since we're just doing this at home, it's totally fine. Then you'll want to apply the wax in the direction of your hair growth, right around that perimeter where you filled in your brows. So in the direction of hair growth would be starting towards the inside and working it outside. Then you can tap on the wax a few seconds later, maybe 10 to 15 seconds, and you'll feel that it's hardened. Then you'll want to create a tab on the outside by gently lifting the wax on the outside there, lifting it up, and then you're going to pull the skin taut and remove that wax. Dip into your wax again, and you can use the same applicator if you're just applying it on yourself. Obviously, that would be totally different in a salon setting. And I'm just applying the wax here where I've missed a little section on the bottom. So if you need to do 2 little small sections, that's totally fine. Here I'm creating that tab and just lifting that edge just a little bit on the outside, pulling the skin taut, and then removing that wax in one quick fluid motion. Same thing here, creating that tab, pulling the skin taut, and removing that wax in one fluid motion. And again, the most important thing is to start at the outside and work inside when you're removing the wax. Now I'm just repeating those same steps and moving to the top side of my brow. Again, starting towards the inside, pulling that wax to the outside of my face. Then now I'm creating that tab, flicking on the edge there to lift it, pulling my skin taut, one fluid motion, removing that wax, starting from the outside, working inside. The most important thing to remember is to always apply the wax in the direction of your hair growth and then to remove it in the opposite direction of your hair growth. So starting at the outside, I'm just making my tab here, gently lifting it, then pulling the skin taut and removing that wax in one fluid motion. Also, every time you do remove wax, you can use your fingertip to apply pressure, and that'll just help relieve any pain. Moving on to the middle of your brows, you'll want to start at the bottom and work your way up towards the forehead when applying your wax. Then to remove it, you're going to start at the top closest to the forehead, creating your tab, and then pulling the wax downward to remove it. We're just repeating the same thing on this side, starting towards the bottom, applying the wax up towards the forehead, then starting up closest to the forehead, and then removing the wax in a downward fluid motion to remove it. And you can definitely already see the difference here in the brow that I've waxed and the one that I have not. Next, we're just moving on to the other eyebrow and doing the exact same thing that we've already done. Also, one key tip to remember when waxing is you never want to wax over the same area more than about twice, because that can cause damage to your skin. So if you've already waxed the same area twice, don't wax it again, and then just use your tweezers at the end to remove any leftover hair. So again, here I'm applying the wax in the direction of the hair growth, starting from the inner side of my face, from the nose, working outward towards my ears while applying it, and then removing it starting from the outside, working towards the inside. Remember to remain mindful of the consistency of your wax throughout your service. If it starts to get too tacky or thick, then you need to bump up the heat so that it remains in that honey-like consistency. Next, you can use your tweezers to remove any hair that was left behind. Next, you can use your wax off to remove any leftover residual wax from your service, or you can use any post-wax serum. Next, I will share the after photo, and it's definitely a dramatic difference from the before, but if you use this tutorial, please share it with your friends and tag me in any before and after photos at Legit Mom Life. After I finished up my waxing, I did do my makeup, and then I also filled in my brows with the Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil. I love this one because it has a nice sharp point on the end of it, so it makes it super easy to outline your brows and then fill them in. Anastasia Beverly Hills does also have one that's so similar to this, so I will link both of those down below, as well as everything you saw in this video today. If you found this video helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. Also, make sure you consider making a donation to my GoFundMe linked down below, just to show your appreciation for this free tutorial, and I will see y'all all in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.
And I thought, it's time I'm letting you go. This time I know it for sure. Just thought I should let you know.